whiskey and made it well. Cause $2 burn like hell. I got liquor justify the steal. Drink down the bottle and get it to kill.
So we're ready to go?
Ready to go.
How you doing? I'm CJ.
Hey, I'm Ashish, and welcome to the Drinks and Design podcast, and sponsored by Cobblestone Wine and Spirits. So what we have today is Rye Whiskeys, an interesting segment of the whiskey kind of drinks that is kind of gaining popularity. And we're going to try two whiskeys, which is the first one is the Limousin Rye Whiskey, and the other one is the Hudson Rye Whiskey from New York. What do you think this is made of, CJ?
Rye whiskey? Rye whiskey is a mix of 90% rye and 5% malted barley. It has a alcohol value of 46%, which is 92 proof. Our whiskeys are aged a minimum of 3 years. First, we're going to try Limousin by Dates and Goat. So take it away.
All right, just one thing is that a lot of rye whiskeys are usually a mix of rye and corn and malted barley and rice and oats and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
This one, I think, both of these, especially the straight one, which is the Hudson one, is definitely 95%. It doesn't have any additives, so it's pretty clean. So this is one of the cleanest rye whiskeys you can drink, which was uncommon a few years ago, but is gaining steam now because people are preferring this nice, clean kind of palate, taste to their palate. So let's give this a shot. All right.
So we'll try Limousin first.
Let's try the Limousin first. Ooh.
Sweet.
All right. Put this back up here, and let's show this is the Limousin, as you can see, right here. And off we go. All right.
Are we going to chug it or are we going to sip?
Sip is the word.
Okay, sipping. Are you supposed to drink this straight usually? Or you drink it with a Coke or something?
You could have this in a cocktail,
Yeah.
but I like it as it is. I mean, I love the fact that it's lighter than most of the rye whiskeys I've drunk.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you have that caramelly taste going on.
Okay.
Very light caramel, vanilla definitely. It's very smooth. It has that rye bite, but it's not like overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's why I like. It's an easy drinking rye whiskey, really, and I can see us drinking this neat. So the way they have made this is apparently interesting mix of aging and distilling, as they say. They've used American oak to barrel this, and then they've used French oak, and French oak comes from Limousin in France, which is why they've called this product Limousin. So that's the backstory. And it the French barrels, the French oak gives it that smoothness, and the American oaks gives it that body.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's what's happening out here.
So it's aged in American oak first and then French oak.
Yeah, apparently, and altogether 3 years.
Okay.
So it has a nice tight feel to it, and I would definitely drink this neat. I'm a neat kind of guy.
It's funny though, because it is French, but it has a design that is kind of cowboyish, kind of Western, the looks on it, but then it has a goat on it, which makes it look kind of, trying to make it look hip and new. So the design of the bottle is old and new, and not really sure what the design wants to be. So I would question that, but
so I think
at least it's not too busy.
it's not busy. I think the reason why you get that impression is because this was an old kind of drink, and it has been renewed in the past few years, and that's why they have this prohibition style bottle. But still, there's some modern elements to it. The bottle is embossed, and it's very pre-prohibition style bottling. But there's definitely some modernity going on here.
Okay.
And so the mix of the new and the old, which is what the spirit is all about too. It's an old spirit which hasn't been renewed.
Okay.
So that's the reason why.
That's why I always liked the designs and the advertisements and the graphic design for Jim Beam, because it was cold, clear, and almost stark, but it was understandable and well designed. I liked it.
Yeah.
And they used to have really good subway cards in the city. Subway car cards are those big cards you look up above the seats in the subway. And the best one was for Jim Beam. It was, where's the bar car on this thing? So tell us more about the history.
So rye whiskey, right? So apparently when the Scottish and the Irish immigrants popped into the U.S., they settled in PA, Maryland, and that area. And they tried using barley and they tried using some other grains to make what they were making back home. It didn't work, right? So they switched to what was commonly available in the US at that point in time and still is, which is rye. It's almost like wheat apparently that grows in many parts of the US. And so they tried using that and it worked. And that's the origins of this drink. But what happened was then rum came into, began getting popular because of the colonies, Caribbean colonies. Then this began getting less, prominence in people's psyche. And then people began getting imported whiskeys from Ireland. People began drinking vodka and gin. And then that happened. And in 1980 or so, some people decided to renew this whole interest in rye. And it's only a few years that they really kind of mastered the art of distilling this and getting it down pat. So it's very true to form in terms of rye whiskey.
Cool.
So yeah, salute.
Cerro Fuego. So you get this at
It's
Cobblestone.
available.
Are there a lot of different kinds of whiskeys?
Yeah.
Is it like whiskey aisle?
He has a bourbon aisle. He has a rye whiskey aisle.
Whole aisle. That's great.
Well, not an aisle, but
A section.
the bourbon is definitely a bigger component compared to rye.
Okay.
And then, of course, he has a huge selection of wines. But this is a growing segment, and I think this is going to grow larger by the day, literally, because there's a lot of interest in this kind of stuff. You know, it's a truly authentic American spirit, I think.
Now we'll try some Hudson.
Sure.
This is a cooler design, I think. It's got a newer bottle. It tries to be a stark contrast. You can see how they took a bolder initiative in the design. You can also see that in their website. Although the website isn't ADA compliant. So if you're handicapped, you can't navigate the website by tabbing.
So we're having the Hudson Rye, guys.
Hudson Rye. It's a lot milder. You said that was bolder. Oh, it was used
It's
to it.
different.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not smoother.
it's not smooth. This is a little bit more aggressive.
Oh, I thought it was a lot smoother.
You think so?
Yeah. But
This is sweeter,
yeah.
right? It's definitely sweeter. This would have overpowered this baby if he had it earlier, though. So which is
Right.
why I think this is a better choice to drink it afterwards, because this has definitely more spice going on in this. All the New York spice, the spice of New York, you know.
The Hudson didn't make me cough. Maybe I'm a wuss though.
So this apparently was started by an Italian-American guy who decided to craft this when nobody else was doing this.
And when?
This was, again, back in the 80s and 90s,
Okay.
apparently, or maybe in the 2000s. I'll have to check, but it was around that time.
You said it's New York's first straight white whiskey.
There you go.
Early in nearly a century.
Mm-hmm.
The style are bold and spicy, with notes of citrus and honey.
Yeah.
I taste the honey. I don't taste any citrus.
It's definitely sweeter.
Okay.
Definitely a much more
And
sweeter.
it's kind of minty too.
It's minty too, yeah.
This is also aged minimum 3 years. It's 92 proof, like the other one. This is they both kosher or just the Hudson?
I think the Hudson is kosher, given that there's a big Jewish population in that part of the world.
Okay.
So I'm not sure about the Limousin rye, which is made in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it's a different animal. Maybe they're trying to cater to that population there.
Okay.
So, but definitely much more tamer. That's what I feel compared to the Limousin Rye. It's both of them are smooth, but this one is definitely a little more spicier and sweeter. And but it's nice. I mean, it has its own little warmth going on. It's perfect for the holidays. Actually, it's a perfect drink for the holidays. This is a little. Maybe I'll have it after the holidays. January, when everything is dead, you want some nice slap in your face.
Something to wake you up. And I like how the design of the website and the branding is
Congruent and almost
it's
seamless.
akin. It's the same as the design on the packaging. Probably because Hudson makes its own website, but Limousin is part of Dancing Goat, which is a larger brand, so you don't really get the uniqueness of the website when you go to Limousin section of the Dancing Goat website. So you don't really see the design, don't really see the branding carry over from the packaging to the website, unlike you do on the Hudson.
I agree. And one of the things that I realized about the website, the Hudson, New York website, was it
Besides not being
was that
ADA compliant?
well, that was a big problem, yes. But in terms of aesthetics, it remind me of the artist Mondrian's work. You know, those grid-like
The stained glass kind of thing.
stained glass kind of thing with different colors going on. And his thing was the use of his was abstract art back in the early 1900s, and he preferred to use primary colors, red, blue, yellow. But he also preferred to use like straight lines. He didn't like curved lines and all that good stuff. And they've kind of used the same kind of aesthetic in the website. And I love Mondrian, so I love this website. That's it, except for that ADA compliance thing. So, but the aesthetics is very, very similar. I could tell that the web designer who worked on the site probably had that in mind.
Well, it's designed. It has a better user experience than the Limousin does.
Definitely
Limousin, this has image blocking, image copy space, where the Hudson website directs you. It uses a better
Navigation.
diminuendo and directs the reader to different sections of the website, which is a lot more subtle. Very much better design.
And they've used like a 2-column layout right in the Hudson Rye, which is, I think, easier on the brain.
It also establishes a nice rhythm.
Yeah, it does. And it's very simple. There's not much of text going on. That's what I like about the website too. It's very visual. It's in your face in a way, but it's very different from.
Well, Limousin, the typeface was too small.
Yeah, it was like a run-of-the-mill website. That you can just
Take the free ones you get on WordPress.
Exactly, the templates that you can just use. But this one was well designed, was thought out, and you can tell that there's a branding team.
Like they paid someone to do it.
Yes, and there's a branding team that is thinking about the labeling, the website, and anything else that they produce, and everything is nice and tight. And that's what we try to do as well, right? In down-the-store marketing, we try to tighten everything up, make it look seamless.
Cohesive branding.
Exactly. Well, cheers to that.
There you go.
Salute.
And it's okay to drink this because we're not pregnant. It impairs your ability to do podcasts.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. That explains the quality of this podcast.
So when you get a chance, we have on the screen. We have the URL for Hudson, for Limousin, and for Cobblestone. So check them out and go try some Ryes.
Sounds good to me. Enjoy, guys.
Again, this is Down the Show Marketing. I'm CJ.
I'm Ashish. And enjoy.